Welcome back to the MPC Show on Voyager Television. Today we are on the MPC Sample with another tutorial for beginners. This is a continuation of the previous tutorial covering note repeat. Today the question is, how do you make R&B music fast using note repeat? Well, first off, we want to make sure we load up a clean slate today. So to have a clean slate on your project, we just want to hold shift and we want to hit pad 16 and we want to hit new project. And this is going to clear everything on the pads here. Make sure you have everything saved before you move forward. So now we're going to load up a kit from the external micro SD card. How do you do that? Well, you hit sample select, and by default sample select is naturally going to give you your internal sounds, your internal samples. So pardon me, we hit external by tapping that middle button there, and we can access our micro SD card. Now under the micro SD card, if we hit user, you can see that I have already arranged my micro SD card to feature samples that are arranged by different genres. So I know exactly where to find my sounds. As I said before, I want to do an R&B song, and you know, frankly, I think I've about hit the limits of all the kits on the internal sound library of the MPC Sample. So I'm going to have to start using some of my expansion packs. Another day we will cover how to get these on a micro SD card. Nevertheless, let's hit this Neo Soul folder here and let's start loading up some sounds. Now, if you want to create your own kit on the MPC Sample, this is exactly how you do it. We have a clean slate on the MPC Sample. Okay, so off top we got some claps. I like to arrange my MPC kits by pretty much the same way that the Akai Pro default arrangement is on the kits as well. What do I mean by that? Well, generally, pad 6 and pad 2 would be where you would put your clap or your snare. I like that clap. That's a very nice D'Angelo kind of clap. And then we can put a snare on 2. We want to put kicks on 1 and 5. We want to put these crashes probably on 8 or 4 coming up here. So we got some crash. We could put that crash there. I saw a Dilla Days crash right here. I'm gonna put that right there. Cymbals, we need some hats on 3 or 7. There's FX there, hats. So hats. So notice I am selecting a pad before I select the sample. How do you load a sample? Well, watch me. Moving faster today. This is slightly beginner, moving towards intermediate now. I'm assuming you've watched many tutorials by now, right? This is a good time to remind you to subscribe. I hit pad 7, which is empty. We know it's empty because when I hit it, there's no sound coming out, right? I notice I hit pad 2. Pad 2 is also empty. There's no sound coming out. Look at these other pads. They are blue because while I've been talking to you and teaching you, I've been loading things up. So far, we can see we have 4 blue pads. That's 4 samples loaded up. So, pad 7. Pad 7. We want a hat on there. So we selected pad 7. We found the hat that we want, and we hit it. Except that's the exact same one as the last one, so we are going to reselect pad 7, as you see, and we'll do an open hat. But that's a little light for me. That might be fun. Except that's gonna need a trim for sure. We're gonna trim that. All right, so now we need like a snare for pad 2, as I said. Let's come down here and find a snare real quick. some type of percussion, something. Got a lot of sounds on here, don't we? Rim. Can I get a rim shot, please? As Queen Erykah Badu would say. Nice kit. Now we need 2 kicks. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Hey, I never realized J and K are right next to each other. Just kidding. Kinda. Okay, kicks. Here we go. Boom, boom. That's cool, basic kick. And then something a little bit. There we go. Great. So we got our percussion now. Now up here, we could go find some Rhodes. I saw Rhodes in here earlier. Let's put some samples in here. There's some piano. That could work. That'd be fun. That'd be very fun. That'd be fun. Might be able to make those two work together. Notice you're getting an idea of what it sounds like there just by reading it. If you read these, they'll kind of give you a clue. So we kind of got a main groove there. Now we just kind of need some effects. Maybe let's scan through here, see if we can find some effects. That'd be fun. A couple of risers, that'd be fun. That bongo would be fun. Some percussion, alternative percussion, slamming it in there. Ooh, we're almost done here. Notice I'm just, gotta love the congos, man. Especially on a soulful joint. Now remember, just because these pads samples here don't necessarily match this key, which we might be going for or flipping, it's your job as a music producer to match those keys. We're gonna get into that later. This is a jam-packed tutorial, I'll tell you right now. Let's load that one up, faceless pad. Okay, so now we have an entire new kit. Somebody asked me, Dame, how do we save a customized drum kit? Well, I'm gonna show you, okay? So you just saw me load up every sample one by one on this kit. Now, before I record anything, right, I'm going to make sure there's no influences here. We're going to erase whatever might be lurking. I think that was empty because we did clear it already. We did start with a blank project. Pardon me, I didn't necessarily need to do that. But if we loaded a kit previously by loading a project, you would need to do that. So now, how do you save this custom kit that we have right here? Well, you would hold Shift, you would hit pad 16, and believe it or not, you're going to hit Save Project. And you're going to save the kit as a project. Why? Well, pretty much because that's the only way to do it. So we could just call this Soul. Name it whatever you want to name it. I'm going to name it Soul Kit. And if I ever want to load this kit again, I am going to come into the MPC Sample project folder on my external folder, on my external card, and I would essentially just load up this project with nothing on it. And now, as you see, it's saved under external. That's my Soul Kit. It's saved. That's how to save a customized drum kit on the MPC Sample. We have to be a bit intuitive with the machine's limitations. My brother asked me about some technology yesterday. I think it was about a camera, mind you. He was like, this is a coffee, by the way. He's like, how and why would you ever want to use a prime lens if it's so limited? And I told him it's the limitations where true magic will be found. You know, it's the limit. Sometimes so many choices and so many options can be a bad thing. That's honestly why I love Akai Pro workflow on any hardware that you're running, because you have to be intuitive, you have to be intellectual, and you have to think about how to do things in your own way. That's what this is all about. That's the genius of this machine. Yes, it would be cool if they had an update and you could just save the kit and have some magic button and all of your kits would be saved in some special place. But what difference does it make? Because as I've taught you a million times, when you come through here and you load a project to start a new beat or to start a new song, you're still going to come in here and you're still going to hit load project and you're still going to go under kits. And you're still going, it's the same thing. Like, what difference does it make? Just because you still loaded a project. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, so what difference does it make to where it is? It's still getting the exact same objective accomplished. Now that we've gotten over that and I've answered your questions, I'll let you all know that are watching this right now. If anyone has more questions on the MPC Sample, please continue to put them in the comments and I will continue to answer your questions and I will continue to make videos that are based around these questions and these challenges and these ideas. Thank you so much for all the support. So moving forward, note repeat, R&B. Let's make this fast. Let's make music fast, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not waste any time. A bit of beat philosophy for a split second, if I may. The reason you're not making any beats and the reason you have beat block and you can't progress, well, it's because you don't trust yourself and you don't trust your instinct. You have to trust your instinct on these machines. Otherwise, you're just going to be hitting walls and you're never going to be moving anywhere. And if you continue to trust your instinct and if you continue to create ideas, slowly and surely, I assure you, your music will get better and better. Each time it will get better and better. But if you don't commit to it and finish, you'll never complete anything. Okay? Now, if you can't If you can't play drums, you can use ultra beat. I keep saying ultra beat. Note repeat to get there. And you can use it fast. So first off, remember this one? As I've taught you in the previous episode, we need to trim this bad boy. We don't need all that. We don't need all that. We just need one moment. That's enough for me. And if we want to zoom in on that, remember we hold shift. We turn K1 now. We can zoom in on the starting position. See, look, I'm missing a little bit of that I want there. I want that. Okay, now we can zoom back out because I don't want anything else. So I'm going to go to K2 and I'm going to chop that. We're going to play that back and we're going to trim the sample. We're going to trim the unnecessary fat that we're not using by holding shift and hitting pad 13. Sample is trimmed. Great. Ultra note repeat. So in the previous episode, I taught you about note repeat, and the first thing I said, As MPC Live teaches us, we need to hold the button. Well, in the MPC sample, you don't necessarily need to hold it. You just need to tap it. Right? And if we tap it again, it's gone. So if we tap it once, tap it again, it's gone. Tap it once, note repeat, changing this to eighth notes. As you see, very easy. Let's just trust our instinct. Just as I discussed there. It's a little fast though. I do want to change the BPM. Notice I have to hit note repeat again on sequence mode in order to get the BPM where I want it. So I'm going to adjust the BPM. Let's go 93. Let's hear what that sounds like with note repeat on. Clearly, I don't need to be good at drums. Clearly, I don't need to be good at timing for this. Anybody can do that, okay? So let's record that. We have note repeat on. We're on sequence mode, but we're going to record on this screen anyways. So we hit sequence record, and we're going to hit play. Are you ready? Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, and... And that's it. Now we're moving fast. Remember that the point of this tutorial is to teach you to trust yourself and to move fast. What else can we do here? Well, we can go back to that note repeat and we can change to 16th notes. Perhaps one of these pads has a sample that will work with 16th notes. Let's listen. We're just playing now, we're not recording. We're trying to find some groove here. Let's listen and play. Now remember, velocity is very important on the MPC sample. How hard I press the pad is going to determine how much energy and dynamics we get from the machine. Before we move forward, because the velocity can bring so much variety to this phrasing here on the percussion and the drums, let's double the sequence. In fact, let's maybe double it twice. How do you double the sequence? If you hold shift, and if you hit pad 3, you can double the sequence. So we just went from 2 bars to 4 bars. Watch the 4 there. We're going to double it again. We want 8 bars. Holding shift and pressing pad 3, the sequence is doubled again. Remember, we can double the sequence on any screen. That's what's so fun about the MPC hardware workflow. You don't need to be on any screen necessarily if you understand your hotkeys. So learn every one of these buttons. Learn every one of these alternative commands here. Moving forward, going back to adding on here, now that we have an additional 6 bars, we're going to dance on this. We're going to hit sequence record. We're overdubbing now. Notice the red bar at the top of the screen. When that red bar gets to the beginning of the phrase again, we're going to jump in here with some of those 16th notes. Come on, man. Tell me Badu wouldn't slide all over that. I gotta check out this new Badu Alchemist album. Listen to Erykah Badu, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to the queen, who is actually a huge MPC Sample fan. Shout out Erykah Badu in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out Erykah Badu. So that is how to make R&B fast on the MPC Sample. We trust ourselves. We're allowing the machine to do the work. We don't need to be expert drummers. We don't got to be Max Roach. We don't need to be any of the jazz giants. You just need to trust yourself and feel a groove. So now that we have that out of the way, we could turn note repeat off. And if we tap it, it's off, right? Remember, if we hold shift and if we press note repeat, we have triplet options, right? Pardon me. Note repeat is already selected when you tap it. All you need to do is just hold shift when you're in note repeat to change it to triplets. So let's say we wanted to do 8th note triplets. Let's see what this sounds like. Frankly, I don't think I need it, but it's nice to listen and to know if you need it or not. So let's skip that. We're not going to do triplets. So by holding shift, we can just, once again, you don't need to hold note repeat when you do that. You just need to reselect the non-triplet version in order to get back there, and you're not necessarily holding shift to get there. You're only holding shift if you want to access the triplet screen. That's triplet selected. But once again, I think the triplets is kind of clashing with this simplicity. So we don't need to hold shift to deselect triplet. We just need to reselect the 8th. So now that we have all of that out of the way, what is our groove here in terms of the melody? I believe we liked this. But of course, we don't need note repeat on it. Notice the timing on that is a little off. So we're going to have to adjust that timing, perhaps by warping it. So Now, there's a couple ways we could do this. We pretty much got 4 chords that we want. We want the dome, boom, boom, boom. So we're gonna create 4 versions of this by holding Shift and pressing the erase button. We're not erasing it, okay? Look, we're just copying it. Copy pad A13 to where? Let's put it on a new bank. Let's put it up here on bank B so we have plenty of room to work. Now we're on bank B. I just press pad bank in order to get to bank B, by the way. So now that we're here, we have this. Now we can work. So once again, let's copy it 4 times. Let's hold Shift and let's press erase. We have this pad selected, so it's going to copy pad 13, B13 to where? Watch this. I'm still holding both buttons here. We are holding today. Yes, we're holding. We selected 3 pads at the top to hold this. Why? We basically want to chop it 4 ways and then do our stretching. So if we come over here to trim it now, we hit the trim button up there. We come back over here to K2. We got the first chord. Boom. Come back over here to the second chord. Starting position is here. Trim this bad boy to where it's pretty much, we don't even need that dun 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 dun. And then the third chord. Right there. I probably will hold that pickup. Okay, so we're going to zoom in for this one by holding Shift and turning the K1 knob. We can zoom in on what's going on. I want to be right at the top of that wave transient there. Boom, on the GUI. Pay attention to the GUI, ladies and gentlemen, the ending here. Doom, doom, doom. Yeah. Now, you could just use chop mode on one sample to do all of this, but you might not get the customization that you want. And you know what? The chop mode would be a better way to do it because nothing would interfere with each other. Notice that when I'm playing these now, they clash. And you don't want that. So, as I'm stuttering, mute group. You want to set them on mute groups. How do you set your samples to mute groups? Why would you want to set your samples to mute groups? Because you want your samples to behave like a chop and you don't want them to clash. Notice the middle button up here, it says tune. If you hit that button twice, it gets into play. When you're in play mode, K2 turns into mute group. We want to set all these to mute group 1. See? Now they're not interrupting each other. However, they need a little bit of fine tuning. This one right here needs to be right on the 1. So once again, we're going to go back into trim. Fine tuning the trim, hit the trim button, hold Shift, zoom to start. You're going to be pros on the MPC sample when you're done with this series. I promise you. I promise you. Go over to the very beginning. And this first one here can hang out a little bit longer. We're gonna change K2 there, see? Don't need that pickup there on this one. I don't know how that happened. I don't even know how we got all the way down here. I don't remember that. I don't want that one. I want this one. No, this one. There. Okay, so now we have all those chopped up. What does this sound like? Okay, we got two moments here that got too much of a tail on them. Just a hair there. Oh, we're gonna have to zoom in there as well. Let's zoom in on the ending this time. Notice we can zoom in on the ending by holding shift and turning K2. Ah! Boom. However, don't you want that to last just a little bit longer? Don't you want that just to hang out a little bit longer? Should we warp it? So what warp are we at right now? We're at about 115, 116. Let's try 115. All of them to 115. I saw Av really excited about that MPC OS hotkey the other day where you can change samples, multiple samples all at once. Of course, that would be really nice on the MPC sample. We don't have that on the MPC sample. But I was also kind of surprised that Av didn't know that. I'm not gonna lie. I've been doing that since like 2017. You know, I don't know. Maybe I need to get back on the MPCX and do some tutorials for the MPC OS. I don't know. Here we go. Does anybody want a tutorial for MPC OS? Let me know in the comments. Or should we just continue the tutorial series on MPC Sample until we cover every genre, every button? Let me know. So, everything's at 115 now. We got this groove going. I want to take off that tail. If you didn't guess, I was going to do that. Clearly we don't need that. Let's take the tail off. Good thing we haven't trimmed anything yet, huh? This is why sometimes you might not want to trim until you're pretty much settled. It would be a good idea to trim all four of these samples when I'm happy with the chop, precisely. However, you know, we don't necessarily need to do it right now because we're still trying to fine tune here. Because as we hear here, let's zoom in on the ending here, hitting trim again with the first button, holding shift, zooming in on the trim. And we want to just cut back on that pickup there. We don't need that pickup. So we got very Badu. I love when I do these tutorials and I'm inspired like to write a song. But this is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is how to make R&B fast. We trust ourselves, we find the sample, we move forward, and that's it. Like, what else does this need? We need a bass line on it, and we need vocals. Part 2, how to add a bass line and vocals? Well, let's record this chop first. 1, 2, 3, wait. Record quantize is on. Notice, I was ready, but we're gonna hit sequence mode. We're gonna turn that off because we might want that groove. Here we go. Sequence record, play. 1, 2, 3, and. Wait. Something about the intro. Step edit, let me see. Are we right on the one there? Pad 13. Yeah, we're right on the one. It says slightly off though on the one. You see that? See that? So let's delete that. I think we can get better on that. We're gonna try that. Just that one pad right there. We're gonna watch this count in. We went to sequence mode. We're gonna record in here. Watching the 1, 2, 3, 4. Better. So we basically went into step edit. We deleted that and we wanted it right on the 1. Remember, it was on 1:055. Slightly late. We all heard that. So I held shift and I went into step edit and I deleted it. Follow for more tutorials and subscribe to Voyager Television, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Let me know what you need help with, because I might have the homie Nicholas come over here and play some bass on that, and then I'll just sing my ass off on it, and this song is finished. This is one of those where like not much needs to happen. It really doesn't. We will be finishing this song on Voyager Television. Subscribe for more. Thank you so much for all of your support. I hope you learned something today. Let me know if you did. If you didn't, well damn. Peace out. Thank you so much.